got to be us. Somehow, some way, the West Virginia Mountaineers are the first team in 299, 399 days, however long it's been, to give up a road win to the Utah Utes of all teams, the worst team in all of the Big 12. It's just a performance that I will not be able to defend.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Guys, welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, where we just witnessed a wire-to-wire victory for the Utah Utes. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Utah just wire-to-wired West Virginia. So, it's really truly a shocking thing to see. So appreciate you guys all for being in here either way. I appreciate the support, even though it's not any fun. I think at the end of the day, we have to show ourselves up as true fans, right? And not fair weather. We show up win, lose, or draw, whether it's fun or whether it's not, and we'll talk about it. It's what it's all about. So that's what we're here to do in this post game where West Virginia has lost the game to Utah. If you're just joining in, or maybe you weren't paying attention to the game, or you're listening to this somewhere else, 61-56, Utah wins a game they won. They won. It was a wire-to-wire performance, like I said. I'm getting my sorry guys. I'm getting all my notes together here really quick while I'm stalling just a bit. Just give me 1 second here. So, yeah, obviously for me, guys, there are a few things I want to get to. I've got a couple points I want to make. I need to get them typed out here while I can type and talk at the same time. All right, so West Virginia, obviously in this game, you get out to another slow start. This is like, 7-8 games in a row. I don't know how many. And at some point you kind of have to start, blame has to be assigned. And, this is not a situation where you were the inferior team or anything like that. This was a team that's the worst team in the league. You're on the bubble. You have everything to play for. They have nothing to play for. And somehow you lose your third straight at home. You let Utah go plus 11 on the glass. They got every hustle play. They got every loose ball. They looked like the head of your team. And so, the guys that have been on top of it all year fell apart in the end of this game. You even had a chance, even after everything, you had a chance with 5 seconds to go with one of the craziest, streakiest 3-point shooters I've ever watched, and you just throw it totally out of bounds. Can I just say this? Maybe I'm overreacting. This team doesn't deserve to be in the tournament. They don't. They're not good enough to be in the tournament. We're just not. I mean, there was a time this year where we were playing a lot better than this. This should have been our third straight loss by the numbers. You look at the UCF game at one point, like I've looked at the screenshot, there was a 97% chance that UCF won that game at one point with about 8 minutes to go or 9 minutes to go or whatever it was. You look at the Cincinnati game, there was a 92% chance they were supposed to win that game with like 11 minutes to go or 12 minutes to go or whatever it was. And so you continue to put yourselves in not just unfavorable positions, but almost unfathomable. That's a hard word to say when you're mad. Positions to where it's like, how hard can I make myself? How hard can I challenge myself in this setting and try to still come back and win? Like, I don't know, man. And there's a lot that I would like to get to as far as, I mean, Harlan Obioha with the 4 fouls was a big deal tonight, and it really hurt our rebounding. I feel like Chance Moore had a spark. He had a lot of want to. I felt like he really played hard tonight. I feel like Amir Jenkins really played hard tonight. Like there was heart out there on the floor. Don't get me wrong, but you're for the 5th game and 6th. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's more like 8th game in a row. The Honor Huff experiment has not been working in like, how best can I say this? Because he finishes these games with like 21 points sometimes, but like it's almost like panic mode. And then all of a sudden he gets 14 points or something in the last few minutes of a game, and you're like, oh, well, he scored 21. It was a great performance. No, these aren't consistent performances over the course of a game. They happen in incredible spurts. I've just never seen a more streaky player. I didn't think he was going to be that coming into the year. He'd been more consistent over his career. I think being the focal point of a Big 12 offense and also defenses in the Big 12 has played a huge part in that. And this team just looked rushed tonight at times, man. And guys are so indecisive all the time. I mean, you can have great Jimmys and Joes, and that helps a lot. But there's something going on with coaching of the offense a little bit here. I mean, this is a shocking performance. There's not a whole lot I can say to defend Ross Hodge here. Trey Eaglestaff was 0 for 6 from 3 here, man. I felt like he made some good plays, some solid plays at times in this game, especially late in the game where he was attacking the rim. But, he's kind of a one-trick pony, right? He goes right, and he either goes right or tries to cross it back to his left. He tries all these hesitations, but it's not high-level ball in the slightest. I mean, compared to what I can do, it is. But, I mean, you guys get what I'm saying here. Brendan Lorient, unfortunately had an off night. He was, I don't blame him. I feel like he's been solid all year. But, he was really off at the rim tonight. I mean, like I said, Obioha was out. Up continues to struggle. Eaglestaff continues to be just – it's exactly what that guy said. The ball is coming off his hand funny. I don't know what it is. But – it's definitely something. It's definitely something. I just got to say. And can I just talk about something else too? I mean, I don't know if this is popular or not because, listen, I want to start off by saying I 100% get that Ross Hodge is in year 1. Absolutely. But there are some questions that I have, like this was the letdown game you couldn't have. You had to you're in decent position here. And you can't have this performance. You've got to coach these guys up to come out quicker. You can't let Utah go up. I don't even know what the score was to start the game. It seemed like what were they up? 16 points to start the game or whatever it was. The slow starts the game are an issue, but like to me, it's the non-responsiveness. Like, when does this team get urgent? Oh, with about 14 minutes left in the game, like that this team. What is? What's going on the other 26 minutes? And. What about the lineups? When you can, at this point, I get that we are who we are. But how can you continue to play the same starting 5 when this same starting 5 is giving you this performance 7 or 8 games in a row now to start games? I'll tell you what I would probably do, and maybe I'm crazy, but I would bring Honor Huff off the bench. I think that might be something I would do now. Um, doesn't mean he's still going to play 30 minutes, but I'm just saying, just to change something up. That way, their best defender is not guarding him. As soon as their best defender goes out of the game, I sub Honor Huff in. I don't know. Somebody help me here, but I just pray to God, please, Jesus, can we please just keep the players that we have in recruiting? Like, can we just please keep them? Because if I'm watching this and I'm a recruit, I have questions about how I'm going to be used, and it's you know it's it's frustrating to witness, because offensively, you have. I'm trying not to overreact here. I know I'm a little, I'm jumping around, and I'm just really upset with this. This one upset me. Um, the free throws. I don't know how you're so bad at free throws again. Like, at some point, I start to wonder: is this a West Virginia thing? Are we just cursed to be bad at free throws, no matter what team or what coach? I I don't know. I don't know. Um, you had to have this game. You had to have it. Like, the season was on the line. The only way you get into the tournament now, and I don't know if you get in now, even if you went out, there are projections out there that said West Virginia had to win 24 games because they had no non-conference wins. Which would be like winning out plus a couple in the Big 12 tournament. I don't know. I just think that the same starting five are not working, and I just think that needs to change, right? Amir Jenkins has played really well, and I could see, like, a world where maybe he comes and starts instead of Honor Huff for a game, maybe. I mean, your offense is already struggling, so what's it matter? And you bring Honor Huff off the bench or something. I've been asking for weeks. We had these two freshmen that were highly rated that they haven't played much, but sheesh. Mike, come on, man. You don't think we know it's the first season, man? Come on, dude. Like, of course we get that it's of course we get it's the first season, but that doesn't excuse everything that happens, Like, it's almost like you can't have an opinion about somebody in their first season. Well, because it's their first season. I'm not trying to come down too hard on anybody specific here. I'm just saying I've seen a few people say that, like, it's his first season. Well, yes, it is, but that doesn't mean that things that are happening in the first season can't be critiqued. And that's all this is. It's frustration boiled over because you let a team that hasn't won a road game in the Big 12 in 399 days beat you on the road. Somebody else explain that. We're going to break. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. And right now with FanDuel, if you don't know, here's how it works. If you've ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person, or even the NCAA tournament for once, maybe can we just get in? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn the dream into a reality with NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. You can use a profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. And if you're already looking on the board and thinking about what team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock back in. And now you can even pick your cash, and it could also send you to the finals, so that's pretty good stuff. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use the profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, guys, and we also have to talk about our friends at Indeed here. And when it comes to the Indeed cats, man, they're killing it right now. And if you're talking about workplace chaos, deadlines are stacking up, inbox is overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still open. When the pressure's on and you need to make the right hire, you know where you need to go, right? It's time for Indeed sponsored jobs. Indeed sponsored jobs helps you find the right people and reach the right people who actually fit what you're looking for with the skills, experience, and location. So you're not just hoping for the right candidate that stumbles across your post. Here's the stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit. That's right, to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on Locked On West Virginia. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. In segment 2, I'm going to crack a dude just to take a quick sip here. My mouth is so dry from, I don't know why, yelling. Okay. So, somehow James Okonkwo dominated the paint in this game. And I mean, if you look at the box score here, let me get it pulled back up. I must have deleted. I must have exited out of it. Probably subliminal for me. Oh, of course, it brings up the football score. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate it. Yeah, I typed in West Virginia versus Utah, and 48-14 came up. Thanks for the reminder. I appreciate it. All right, so in this game, if you look at Seydou Traoré, who I watched alongside Jose Perez at Manhattan, I didn't never think he would be this good. Brown and McHenry, they did what they do. We said that coming into this game. They got nobody else outside those three players. Usually Traoré is worse than he was tonight, but he had a game. And, the guys that we needed to play well did not. And then you look and you let a guy that you couldn't, that was obviously going to be motivated because he wanted to stay in Morgantown. I spoke with him. In the second half, he really played well, man. 2 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 points. So I will say congratulations to James. I've always felt like he played hard when he was in Morgantown and was always a class act. And I felt like he was tonight as well. He was just playing hard. It sucks for West Virginia, obviously, but I've always rooted for Okonkwo because he's come from nothing, so glad to see he's doing okay. But what a night for West Virginia, obviously. And I feel like I'm rambling, guys. I don't have any well put together thoughts right now. We'll look at some stats. West Virginia, you're shooting 21% from 3, 5 for 23. And you shot 7 for 15 from the free throw line. It's 46% from free throw. So you shot 46% from free throw, from the free throw line. Sorry, I'm really mad. 21% from 3. You got out rebounded, and you still had a chance to tie this game with 5 seconds to go, and you threw it out of bounds. I just think that this team has been fun to watch at times this year. The last month has been brutal. I think that the experiment has basically failed. I mean, there's a small chance that they go on a run at the end of the year. I'll never rule that out for anybody ever. You never say never, but for the most part, I think the experiment probably failed. And this game is the backbreaker you couldn't afford to have. You could not afford to have this game. The only way you get back into it, like I said, I guess if you win out, then you'll be okay. But even I don't know that. It's overall just a bad deal because they're going to look at this at the end of the year and say, you let a team that hadn't won on the road in 399 days beat you on the road. It feels like this happened to us in football a couple years ago as well with the team. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Texas Tech a couple years ago or somebody like that. That's like they hadn't done something in so long and it happened against us. It's like the backup quarterbacks from Texas Tech that beat us. Obviously, whenever you're in it, you're looking for things and it's confirmation bias. Like I'm well aware that, when you're in the negativity and you're rooting for a team and you're looking for reasons to be upset, like confirmation bias can happen. But at the same time, I feel like with West Virginia, it's not always confirmation bias. I do think we have legitimate snake-bitten bad luck. We could probably say the last 10 years, at least 8, right? But I consider the last 10 or more because going to the Big 12, the Big East dissolving and going to the Big 12 to begin with was the start of our bad luck, in my opinion. Very grateful for the Big 12. Very happy we've had a place to land and play and be D1 and all that. But, I mean, just saying, getting out of our comfort zone and having to come up this direction totally changed our program for the worst. It is what it is. It's no other way around it. But, as far as this game goes, I don't know what else you can do. If you play, it's getting to the point now where I feel like it's a Jack McNeil. It's nowhere near as bad as Jack McNeil. Don't get me wrong. But like, as far as the same starting 5, you keep putting out the same starting 5 and you're having the worst performances possible. I just think that you have to change that. I don't know what changes need to be made because you only go 7 or 8 deep now. But if it were up to me, I would have been playing a couple of those other freshmen this year. I don't know why they didn't play, like I've said multiple times, but surely they would have been more ready by now. I don't know, guys. I think we'll just look at what's coming up here on the schedule for West Virginia. We'll go to break on that note really quick. Just give me one more minute, guys, and we'll go to break and just kind of look what's ahead.
I'm Clea Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. It was a heavyweight showdown between number 3 South Carolina and number 7 LSU, and the Gamecocks rose to the occasion. South Carolina secured a hard-fought 79-72 victory to stay atop the SEC standings, using a balanced offensive attack to outlast the Tigers. Tessa Johnson led the way with 21 points, while Raven Johnson added 19. Medina Okot dominated the paint with a double-double, finishing with 12 points and 17 rebounds, while Joyce Edwards chipped in 10 points to round out the scoring. With the statement win, the Gamecocks now turn their attention to a road matchup at number 23 Alabama on Thursday. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
All right, guys, we're back here, Locked On West Virginia in segment 3. Like I said, the starting 5 versus Utah: Jasper Floyd, Honor Huff, Trey Eaglestaff, Harlan Obioha, Brennan Lorient. I don't know what you do. I think Chance Moore needs to be in the starting lineup potentially. For transition. Maybe you need to do more transition and stop being so slow paced. Here's what I would do. This is what I would do if I was coaching. And I'm not Ross Hodge and I'm nowhere near his league. And I get that. If it were me, if you want to throw a curveball at guys, you get Honor Huff, you get Chance Moore, and you get Amir Jenkins, and you just run straight transition. Just let those guys run alongside Brendan Laurent and name another guy. And just let them take off and run in transition instead of what we've been, right? I don't know. Like you throw a couple curveballs out there, you never know what can happen, because I think if we could just get off to a decent start, we would have won this game too. But you can't go down almost 20 points I was probably one of the only people. I downloaded the Fox app just to be able to watch the game for 5 minutes before it switched on. And I watched that first couple. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I still can't believe what we just watched and witnessed. I'll be looking forward to see what Coach Hodge says after the game. I would love to see some fire from him. He reminds me of Neil Brown in a lot of ways from a personality standpoint. By the way, Neil Brown had a hell of a quote today. I saw on Voice of Morgantown's profile. I have not seen where that came from yet. If anybody knows where that Neil Brown interview came from, I would love to know so that I can react to it. But just looking ahead really quick, West Virginia, obviously you've got TCU. You're on the road Saturday. So you've got, 3 days to turn this thing around and go see what's up on the road. Then you come back and you play Oklahoma State on the road again, 3 days from then. So you should be gone about a week beginning, Saturday, not a week, but, you'll be on the road from Saturday to Tuesday. Then you get BYU at home, so you got to win the next 3 games and really the next 5 games. If you want to turn this around in your favor, I don't see how they wouldn't have to at least put you back into the conversation if you won 3 or 4 the next 5. But I do think you need to win at least the next 3. I don't know what you need, guys. I really don't. At this point, I just think that the season is pretty well over. We'll need a miracle to get in, and never say never with that, but we're going to have to make some changes or something, because what was working ain't working no more, and the data's out on this team and people know how to defend us. So I just want to be good again. I just want to watch us in the tournament again. That's it. I'm not asking for 35 games in a season or even 29 or 30 wins. I'm just saying, hey, can we be 24-12 and a 6 seed, or can we be, I don't know. Can we be 27-6 or something, or I don't know, and a 4 seed or a 3 seed? I don't know. Like, I just want to watch us be good again. But 4 coaches in 4 years, and what's happening with Neil Brown and all that for 7 years counting Rich Rod's first year, 7 years has been brutal. And I feel like, hey, do you think it's gotten into our DNA as a fan base that we're just losers now? I'm just curious how people feel. All right, y'all, I'm going to jump out of here. I'm just so frustrated. I really can't think too straight. I have a lot of racing thoughts that I can't get all my thoughts organized. I was hoping to have a guest on so I could do that, but nobody wanted to come on. I don't blame them. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining with me to just complain for a half an hour. We'll see what happens, man. I mean, we're going to watch all the games left as it is, right? And hopefully this team turns it around. But I feel like that was a season ender. So we'll find out going forward from here. But West Virginia loses a backbreaker to the worst team in the league, and you can't just have that. But it happened, so we'll see. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. A couple more videos for you. Thanks for being here. Q Country Roads. I'll see you tomorrow.